while everybody is patiently, or should I say impatiently, waiting for Altseason to start, I might have actually found something that will answer a lot of questions for you. So stay tuned in this video because I'm about to share something very interesting.
You guys ready?
What's up guys, Amar here. So I actually might have some good news because you are here to know when Altseason can roughly start, and this video is actually completely meant for that. I found a chart that not a lot of crypto guys pay attention to, and actually me myself, I forgot this chart as well. I shared it like a few months ago in my private community, but ever since I didn't really look back to it. And now when I look back at it, everything of this momentum kinda makes sense to me, guys, and I will explain you in a second why. But first, guys, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate it. I would really want to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you hit that subscribe button, I would be super happy. Anyway, let's just get into it, guys. Let's get into the good stuff. So we have DXY right here in my left corner. And the thing with DXY is, guys, it's a dollar index. So when this goes up, crypto goes down. When this goes down, crypto goes up.
Oh my god, math! Math!
So you can already kind of see where this will lead to. So as an example, I will use Ethereum. So let's get into the good stuff. I'll also try to make this video as short as possible and explain it as well as possible. So what you have to know is that the dates will not be as accurate because I want to use the lowest momentum and the highest momentum always. So as you can see, the bottom of Ethereum roughly formed around the 5th of December 2016, and if we look at the dollar index, it kind of topped out around the same momentum, but it had a long-term consolidation before. Then I call this momentum a type of fake out, and the fake out started on the week of the 14th of November 2016. Then we consolidated for around, what is this, around 147 days before seeing downside momentum. And once this downside momentum came on the week of the 17th of April 2017, we can see that Ethereum at that same momentum started to explode to the upside after already seeing some downside momentum, because from its all-time high till here, dollar index saw some downside momentum. Then eventually we cracked back in the accumulation zone, fell below it, hit a new all-time low for dollar index, and then we can roughly see around the same time period is that Ethereum found its all-time high as well. And then the same story kind of repeats, guys. Now we can argue two things. We can argue that this here is the bottom for Ethereum, or we could argue in terms of perspective with the dollar index that this is the bottom for Ethereum. So let's go with the COVID one, which is around March 2020. So 16th of March 2020. And if we look here, we can see again that actually on that exact week, we roughly topped out for the dollar index as well. And that the week before we reclaimed back within that same fake out like we had here. So then we had a consolidation of around 77 days. Then on that week of the 25th of May 2020, we started to see downside momentum in the dollar index. And then in Ethereum, what we can see is that after the halving happened, which was as well around this time period, we just exploded to the upside once again. Now we can argue two things again. Or we could argue that this is the all-time high for Ethereum and as well for Bitcoin, because we can argue that Bitcoin formed a double top. However, why do I say that this is a top? Because most of the altcoins stopped here. Now, a thing that you have to know about the last cycle is that while Ethereum did something like this and then started to see downside momentum, most of the altcoins did this. They formed a lower high and then their downside momentum started. So they didn't form a new high anymore like Ethereum or Bitcoin did. They just formed a lower high and started to see downside momentum already, which was around that period of May 2021. For example, a perfect example of that token is Rune, which around May 2021, exactly the same time frame, topped out. So that's why I say so. And what's interesting here, guys, is that if we look at dollar index, we can see that it formed a double bottom here and then basically also bottomed out and started to see upside momentum once again. Then we hit a new all-time high for the dollar index, which absolutely made crypto bleed. Like Ethereum then head towards a good solid under $1,000 for a little bit. And the interesting thing here, guys, is that there's a pattern. We have the pattern of long-term consolidation, fake out, then breaking back below and starting a decent bull run. The same happened in the last cycle. We had a type of long-term consolidation. You can argue that it's between this zone or between these zones, it doesn't really matter. But we had a long-term consolidation of compressed momentum, had a fake out, had some fake out consolidation, and then eventually collapsed to the downside. We formed a bottom, altcoins formed the top, and price started to reverse. Altcoins started to bleed and bottom to the downside. The same like Ethereum and Bitcoin did in this momentum. And now, guys, the same exact momentum is happening. If we look at the chart, we can basically see that dollar index is exactly doing the same thing. Long-term consolidation. We have our fake out currently. Fake out like here, fake out like here. The only thing lasting for us is to break back below this zone here of around 106.1 points, below 106.1 points. If we break back below, it is very likely, in my opinion, that an alt season and a further continuation of the bull market will start. But all eyes will be on the repetitive history of dollar index, because eventually that's the only thing that's last for us is Bitcoin dominance to go bearish, dollar index to go bearish, and USDT dominance to go bearish. Once those three go bearish, it is a perfect recipe for an alt season. And the only thing lasting for us, guys, is a break below this level once again, and it's very likely that history will repeat. And another interesting thing here is, before I end the video, is that we have from here till here around 434 days. From here till here, actually should do it right, exactly 434 days. So now, assuming that this is the entry of the fake out, same like we had here and here, 434 days on estimation is around exactly the winter, the winter of 2025, which, if you're already here for a long time, you will see that I always targeted the winter of 2025 to be the top for crypto once again. Does that mean for altcoins as well? Not necessarily, but that's more for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So for altcoins, let's see, guys. For altcoins, we have to pay attention to the dollar index, but of course also to Bitcoin dominance, because Bitcoin dominance, of course, for altcoins is the biggest indicator. But this chart as well, dollar index, is a very useful one. And again, my target roughly aligns 434 days from now. If we repeat this in exact, of course, the days could differ with 30 days or even 60 days that we, for example, do this, which I expect more. But overall, my target for the top of the bull run, for Bitcoin and Ethereum at least, remains around the winter of 2025. And for altcoins, let's see, guys. Let's see what will happen. It depends on the bearish momentum of Bitcoin dominance and dollar index. Alright, guys, I hope this video helped. I hope it's a useful tip. Make sure to pay attention to this chart because it's useful. Alright, guys, I'll see you in the next video.